This video will help practice addition, subtraction, multiplication and division whilst having fun.
Hello, I'm Tony from AIMSEC, and Caroline and I are going to show you this Checkit game, and we're going to play each other.
What better way of learning?
Yes.
So I'm Caroline, and welcome and enjoy the Checkit game.
Now, Caroline is going to draw the game board. It's a very, very simple diagram. She is going to draw the 3 ovals here, and then she is going to draw boxes, and now behind them she's going to join them up, and you've got to imagine them making a triangle there. Okay, now the way the game works is, first of all, we put numbers in 3 of those boxes, and we'll just show you how it works, not play the game yet. But Caroline, would you like to put any numbers you like in 3 boxes?
I'll start with number 9. Is that where I want it, or do I want it in the box?
No, any places. You put 3 numbers in. We're not playing the game. Right, now there are 3 numbers at the vertices of the triangle. You can see them, 9, 15 and 76. Now the numbers to go in the other boxes have to be the totals of those numbers. 76 plus 9. Okay, now that's how we should structure it. Now, Caroline, could you rub out those numbers and we'll show something else that might happen. Okay, now put 3 numbers anywhere, but this time not all of them at the vertices. Now the big question is, what should go on the bottom line there? If we've got 18 in the middle, we've got 23 on one side and 18 in the middle, and...
It can't be addition, can it? We can't be adding the 2 together. Oh, we could if it was a negative number.
Yes, so let's go for negative numbers.
Right?
Yes, -5. Okay. Now then, what do we have to combine with -5 to get +7? 12, take away 5, if you like to think of it that way, will give you your 7. Now in the other box, this is easy because it's just 23 add 12. Fantastic. Now, every time we fill in the 6 numbers, we're aiming for that pattern where the 2 numbers on the vertices are added together to give the number in the middle. If we want to avoid having negative numbers, then we have to make the numbers in the middle, on the lines, you know, in the rectangular boxes, we have to make them bigger than the numbers at the vertices. And because 18 was smaller than 23, we had to go into negative numbers.
I inadvertently brought that one out of the box.
Now, negative numbers perhaps don't mean much if you're in primary school. So the good thing about this game is that you decide before you start what sort of numbers are allowed. So if we said we're only going to have positive whole numbers, then putting the numbers there would have actually been a mistake in the game, because it would have forced a negative number, which is not allowed. So the first thing about this game is, before you start playing, and you can play it in 2 teams or from 2 individual people. Before you start, you decide what sort of numbers. Now, you could decide that the numbers on the corners on the vertices were only going to be single-digit numbers. And that's the sort of decision that you would make for sort of 5, 6, 7-year-olds. Because if you get the numbers at the vertices really small, it's possible for them to count them, or you could do it with dots and put the right numbers for adding up the two at the vertices. Or you might decide, like Caroline and I just got involved in, and if you're in secondary school, you might well decide to have negative numbers as well. But if you were getting really good at this game and you wanted to make it much more challenging, you might even do it with fractions.
Yeah.
It's possible. So there are many ways in which you can vary the game. But the first rule is that the two players have to agree between them what numbers they're going to use. Now, we've shown you addition and subtraction. Now we're going to show you multiplication. So if Caroline rubs all the numbers out. Now, if Caroline, in the rounded box, boxes at the vertices, you put the numbers 5, 6, and 7, doesn't matter where they go. Now, if we were doing multiplication, we would have 35 in one box because it would be 7 times 5. We'd have 42 and we'd have 30. Okay, so it's just like the addition game, except now we're doing multiplication. So you're always going to have that same principle about the game. Okay, and the first thing you've got to do is to decide between you and your opponent which numbers and what operation. The operation is addition or multiplication. And once you've decided that, you're ready to start playing. We will actually play a game and see what happens. Now here, the rules are as follows. We actually take it in turn to decide, to put in a number. And we can put in a number in any box, okay? It doesn't matter where. If I make a mistake and Caroline notices it, and she says, Tony, you've made a mistake, then I lose a point. If she doesn't notice it, then I get away with my mistake. If she puts another number in after I've made a mistake, we may end up with an impossible situation where it's actually impossible to complete the 6 numbers. Okay. And then we'll both lose a point. When we finish the game, we're going to check that everything's correct. Toss a coin to see who starts. Heads, the Springbok.
You get heads, Tony wins.
Are we going to do addition, Caroline?
I suppose we could do one with addition and then do one with multiplication afterwards.
Let's do that. Okay, it's 12 in the top box.
Let's put a plus there so we remember what we're doing.
Oh, what a good idea. Now, Caroline, it's your turn to put a number anywhere you like.
Okay, anywhere I like.
Now, on the bottom, not by the 23, but on the other side, right, I want to put 5.
Okay. I'm going to go for the easy option and put those two together.
Now, you may have wondered why I said this was an addition and subtraction game. Because now, in order to find out which number to put in there where Caroline's pointing, I have to take 12 away from 23. And that will give us, I've got to do a subtraction, and that is going to be 11 there. And I'm going to put that one in, okay? And 11 and 12 add up to 23, and Caroline completes it. Now we've made it really easy. And Shall we have the rule that we both get a point, Caroline?
I think so. If we're both going to lose a point if it goes wrong, I think we should both get a point if it goes
Yes,
right.
all right. Okay. Now then, if we were being a bit more competitive, we would try to make it hard for the other person. So, Caroline, shall we just say that all the numbers have got to be less than 100?
Okay.
Whole numbers, though, positive whole numbers less than 100.
Okay.
And are we doing addition again? Yes, let's do one more of addition. Okay.
So I'm going to go with, oh, I nearly lost a point. Okay, I'm going to put it here. Because it's got to be less than 100, did you say? The language.
Yes, less than 100.
Less than 100. I nearly put it there. I would have instantly lost the point.
In the top box, I'm going to put 67.
This is a temporary number. I'm double checking. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay. Right. So in the top box on the one that's empty there, I'm going to put not 99, but 98 in that one.
Simple enough. It's one less than that one.
Oh, well, then that's 63 in the bottom, and we both won another point.
Yay!
Play it until somebody got 5 points. And a lot of the games are going to end up in a draw. You both get it right. And that's, you want to get it right if you can, but you can try and make it harder for the other person. And if you're finding it very easy, as these 2 games we've shown you are very easy, you might go into not just tens and units, but hundreds, tens and units. We'll do multiplication now. My turn to start.
Yes.
And I'm going to make it very hard. I'm going to put 29 in the top box. You change that plus to a times.
Oh, good point. Thank you. I hope I got it right.
Okay, so we need to put 3, because it's 3 29s are 87, so we need to put 3 in the box at the bottom there. Okay, now it's your turn, Caroline.
And the numbers must be, they were still working numbers less than 100. I'm going to make this number.
Well, I'm going to put 58 in the box in the middle on the top there, that 58. Okay, so what's Caroline going to put in the last box? Now we need to check it. Is 2 times 3 6? 2 times 29 is 58, and 3 times 29 is 87. Okay, and we didn't do that like super quick. We were both a little bit careful with our calculations there. So I think we've given you a good idea of what the game is about. It's actually not meant to be super competitive. It's meant to be a little bit fun and something you can do with a friend, and you can both practice the mental arithmetic that you should try and practice, and it's a fun way of practicing, we hope.
Shall we do fractions?
Oh, okay, yes, okay, let's keep them simple. Let's multiply fractions, shall we? There can be whole numbers as well, rational numbers, which includes whole numbers. So I'm going to put 4 in the bottom box on the left, so that it's, right, 4 there. So we've got 3/4 in the other, and we've got to multiply them. Think how many quarters you've got. So it's 12 quarters. So as Caroline's written down, it's 3. I'm going to put a half in the bottom box on the right.
1/2. Half of 4 is 2.
What's half of a quarter?
Half of a quarter is an 8.
Right. So what half of 3/4 is 3/8. And if you're not sure about this, we're going to imagine a bar of chocolate with 8 pieces. Caroline's going to draw it. And we can imagine and make ourselves hungry by thinking we could break off a piece and eat it. We've got 8 pieces of chocolate there. Now 1/4 is 2 pieces. 3/4 would be 3 times what we've got, would be 6 pieces. And now what's half of 3/4? It's going to be 3 pieces, which is 3/8. So we've shown you, the very first demonstration involved negative numbers. We've shown you addition and multiplication, and now we've shown you fractions. So I think you can see that there's lots of ways of varying this game. And if you look on the Aiming High website, you'll find the instructions. So you don't have to remember what we've told you because the instructions are there.
Download the guide in the description for more maths fun games, and make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell so that you know every time we upload more fun maths games.